Welcome to this week's episode of the Big Eyes Podcast. As always, I'm your host, LJ. AD was good.
Everything's good, man. How you been, brother?
Man, I've been good. I've been catching up on Black Clover this week, and that has been fun. Okay, so I'm gonna be real. I was hating on Black Clover for a minute. I'm not even gonna hold you. I was hating on it pretty hard because there is just a lot of things. Listen, it's manga Potter. Like that's really what it is to me. Like it's manga Potter, dog.
It really is.
But like, okay, it reminds me of like Naruto and Harry Potter. And like that's what it reminds me of. And I'm
Basically,
like, that is a very bad mix. A very fucking bad mix.
I would put it more like I would say like fairy tale. Like when I first saw it, I was like, all right, Black Clover's like Naruto and fairy tale. But
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll give it that. I don't know, man. It was just, I'll say it starts off hot. Like this is how it reminds me of Naruto. It started off hot. Like I was like, yo, this shit's crazy. Like this shit's like really good, and like it gets you in. Then it reaches a point. It reaches a patch where I'm just like, dog, what? And then it reaches that a point. I'm trying to think where it does for me.
I know for me it was like the one thing I did appreciate about Black Clover, and I like because I'm caught up on it. It's so Naruto in the sense of like, oh, I want to be the Wizard King, parallel to I want to be the Hokage. But then you got two people who want to be the Wizard King, so it's like that dynamic of Naruto and Sasuke, kind of, sort of. But like, Asta is more of Lee in that situation to fucking what's his name? Sasuke. So in that sense, it's so same. But then you get to the other characters. This is what I really appreciate about Black Clover. All the other characters get development more so than like everybody in the second half of Naruto. Like everybody in Shippuden really falls
you were
to the
telling me
wayside.
that, and like no, you were telling me that, and like the more I read, like I'm seeing it a bit. I'm seeing it a bit. I didn't mean because you are like that.
No, go ahead.
No, but like I think the biggest thing for me, and I think like I think this is just a serious thing. I just like people. I mean, I guess just as a fan of manga, a fan of anime, and like, granted, yes, what I'm about to talk about, I am a fan of a lot of these shows that have this same like character archetype of, that weird haired kid with no powers, and then somehow gets powers. And like, it's just like, this weakling, and then now it's like
the
man,
power of hard work and determination.
Yeah, man. Like, okay, like how many remixes of the remix have we seen of this? And it's like, sometimes it feels just like, all right, man. Like, and like I'm not gonna say like, oh no, I hate it and like all this. No, I'm still a fan of this shit. Like, but like it's an actual critique of just like,
yeah.
All right, how many more of like mangas and animes are we gonna do that fits this mold? Like, I think, and granted, they're all very successful. I mean, look at My Hero. Like, My Hero is fucking huge. They're all very successful. And a lot of them are very fan servicey. But it's just kind of like, okay, how much of this could we, how much more of this are we gonna get?
I think that's just a product of the shonen genre in general, because like you see that in 90% of shonen genres, like the power of hard work. Like you see that in Assassination Classroom, Black Clover, My Hero, Naruto, Bleach to an extent because Ichigo didn't have powers in the beginning in the first place. Even all the way back to like Dragon Ball, because Goku was just a kid in the forest and he had to get trained by Roshi, and he was just like, oh no, this natural talent, but he can't get too powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a product of the shonen genre that's just like power of hard work, determination, and then it mixes with friendship, like the power of friendship. You can't do it alone. Like those are probably like the two biggest things besides tournament arcs. But like tournament arcs.
Hey, listen, there's some heat tournament arcs. There's some heat tourney arcs. But no, I get that. I do get that. And I know, like you said, like I feel that all shonen has just that, the core elements are never gonna change of it. But I think that now it's kind of reached a point where you could just see the obvious, like we're just gonna try to fit this same exact mold. Like all we're gonna
Yeah,
do is kind of change, like change.
yeah,
Let's change the setting a little bit, and then let's change
yeah.
this a little bit, and then like okay, boom, 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 back. Like um, and like we're seeing that a lot, and it's like okay, like whoa, like even if you look at Passion and like some of them have a lot more. I mean, I guess it's just like more creativity. I mean, I don't want to say creativity, but it's just like they told the same story, but at least they felt a little different. Each one
Yeah.
felt a little different, had their own little special thing to it. It's kind of like sometimes you look at something like, okay, now what like makes this like more special than the last one, because it feels like the last one.
Yeah, I will say, nowadays we're getting a little bit more of diversity as far as like setting, even though the core themes will still be the same. We'll get something like more grounded in earth. Like I was just telling you, like before we started the podcast, I was reading Act Age, and that's basically just a story about actors. That's more set in our real world than anything like in recent, like not recent memory, but like we have Act Age, we have Time Paradox, Ghost Riders. These are like more grounded in modern settings and are for people who are like, yeah, I want to achieve my dream, I want to accomplish my goals and stuff like that. But now they're more attainable versus the fantasy setting that we see in like all the other shonen. Like there may be like that one twist for that special character that you'll see, like because we're reading World Trigger, we have like Mikumo, the normal everyday, like, oh no, I'm not really that special. But then you got Yuma, who's like from a whole another world. He's like this, he's somebody special to influence our real main character's life. Like, even though they're both main characters, he's like that special person. Or you got like Koro Sensei from Assassination Classroom, who's like, he was an assassin, but he's this special person who came into the life of all these students to make them great. All Might. You have all of these like different people who are just like that one key figure to influence everybody else. Is like, oh yeah, you're achieving a dream and you're doing these things possible that are like so amazing, but they're more grounded in something that in a modern setting. You know what I mean? Like it's something crazy that we're seeing a lot more and more in modern shonen and modern manga and anime all together. So like
No,
it's a little bit diverse now.
no, I mean, I do feel like, I mean, there is diversity. I do like agree. I think like it's cool to see when you're reading a manga that is really grounded in the times. Like that seem a
Yeah.
little bit more like, damn, this is happening now than like sometimes things are going like super far back or like super way ahead in the future. But
Yeah.
that was really my issue with Black Clover in the beginning. It's just like it kind of felt like that. It kind of felt like, damn, here's another one that's fitting this mode once again.
Yeah.
But the more you read it, I'm like, okay, it's it gets a little darker. There's like some other things that kind of pop up. I do think like the more the better other characters get, and like this, those type of stories, and those get weaved into the bigger story, it's making it much better. I just felt like I sat that just like that Naruto thing where it's like things are so just centered around it, and it was just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it like
it feels so familiar, and it's just like it's not refreshing.
Like, fuck, it's not refreshing sometimes, like and once again, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm not a fan of like a lot of these mangas that feel the same exact way. Like I'm not gonna say that because I am, but just sometimes you just be like, okay, dog, like again, like let's what's really going on. It's kind of like
seen this before.
All right, so I think it's time for people to finally get a glimpse in what our real beef is.
Oh shit.
So today, if you're on the lookout page, we're about to be dropping a what era had the best anime we're doing, 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. And 80 is gonna be wrong. I just have a feeling that it is, and that's just what it is. 80, I think it's gonna be wrong, and I'm gonna have to tell you that you're wrong if you're wrong.
Hey man, look, let me preface this by saying, first of all, I love all the eras of anime. I've been watching anime since I was like 2 years old, 3 years old. Grew up on like Studio Ghibli movies and like Toonami and everything that's come out under the sun. So I've seen a lot of anime. That being said, do you want me to go ahead and tell you what my answer is right now for this for this topic that we're putting out this week?
Yes, please give me your answer.
All right. So right now let me first say this. We have three categories for which anime era is the best. It's the 1990s, it's the 2000s, and it's the 2010s. We didn't include the 1980s, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, we ain't go. Yeah, no, we ain't go too far back.
Yeah, we got a certain demographic, but for me personally, I really think the 2010s has the best anime era. Like, and this is coming from somebody who has One Piece as their favorite anime and manga all time. But that being said, I feel like the industry and anime as a whole has gotten better since like the past years. Like, it's become more mainstream. We're getting more diverse stories. We're getting more intricate layers. It's not just about powering up. It's not just about like blast. It's not just about villain of the week and other stuff. It's more intricate, and it's getting more people involved into these stories. Even the villains are becoming more likable. Like, you have, for me, everybody knows like one of the best anime ever is fucking Yu Yu Hakusho. But there are some points in that show and manga, don't crucify me. There are some points in that show and manga where they're just not as strong as they could be. And I like Hunter x Hunter because they kind of correct that, but that shit's on hiatus, so that's a whole nother story. That being said, we have a lot more stories to do. Like, we have a lot more like smaller, grounded stories, but like with more fleshed out characters, more relatable stories, and a lot of things that have come out in the past 10 years. Freaking where can I start? Where should I start? My Hero, Attack on Titan, Konosuba. People might not like it, but Sword Art. It's so many mainstream things that are out right now that is just like amazing, and people just love it. And it's the era of manga. Let me tell you this. Let me ask you this question. When do you think like the era of manga became so mainstream? Like, at what time period?
Like manga, or like manga as a whole, or
like both manga and anime, like for yourself and for like the greater like world.
I feel like, okay, I probably like, it would have to be like the early 2000s. I mean, obviously, because Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon is probably at its biggest at that moment. True. I mean, and then I think, but as just like a whole, like really, really impacting mainstream, it probably wasn't until like late 2000s, probably early 2010s.
Yeah, and it's like we as kids, like, we go through those phases of like, yeah, Pokemon cards, the games that complement the shows that we're watching on Toonami and like Kids WB and everything like that. And it's like that era of like nostalgia that just hits with us. But sometimes, like, I know for a lot of my friends, we didn't keep. I know specifically a lot of my friends, they didn't keep up with like stuff on Toonami and everything like that. They fell off after like the end of Dragon Ball, or like Naruto stopped being on Toonami, and Toonami went away for like a couple of years, and all we could watch was like Cowboy Bebop. Like, the 2000s was like great. 2000s was amazing, fantastic for like anime and everything like that. But I feel like it's gotten that much better. Like, animation quality has gotten better. Like, art styles have gotten better because you can go between digital and like hand-drawn stuff. Like, the fluidity of all of these things coming together for an entire production is so much grander than what it was like 10, 15, 20 years ago. So I'm just saying, like, from my perspective, it's only gotten better. I'm not saying the 2000s wasn't great. It was fantastic, but it's gotten even better since then,
Hey, dog, I'm gonna be really real with you. I'm hot because we agree. I was like, dead ass. Hey, no, dead ass. I wasn't even gonna ask you. Hey, I wasn't even gonna ask you like, yo, what era is your favorite before this show? Because I was like, I'm 1,000% sure this nigga's gonna say the 2000s. Like, I was dead set on being like, yo, I was like, yo, this nigga loves One Piece. This nigga is talking to me about Inuyasha. He's talking to me about all this. Like, he's talking to me about Full Metal Alchemist, like all this. I'm like, this dude's gonna pick the 2000s. Like, I'm not even second guessing in my mind, bro. I'm like, he's really gonna pick the 2000s. I was like, all right, let me just see. That's why I'm like, I'm thinking about to talk some shit to this nigga. No, listen, I'm not even. Listen, you listed off some amazing points about a lot of things. I think like stories. I mean, man, when it gets down to it, animation. Like that's really what it is.
Exactly.
It's animation. It's animation. Like let
It's
me
like
tell you about
the
the book.
budgets got better. The budgets got
Bro,
better. Like every all the production.
the bag started coming in. The bag started coming in. Listen, the bag started coming in. I'm grateful to be young and being able to like see all this shit happen. And like really like that would be like a big part of like in 2010, I'm 13 years old, so like I'm like, but no, I'm 14 years old, right? And I get to see all this anime come out from 2010 to now. Like, think of all that heat, and like once they got the bag, bro. Like, listen, I understand. Shout out to like my older, you know what I'm saying, anime fans that was really deep in this shit in the 90s and the 2000s. Y'all niggas is troopers, because I do go back and watch these shits, and they are heat. Don't get me wrong. But listen, I know there are parts where that hand was cramping up during these drawings, dog. Y'all just didn't even have the technology yet. It ain't y'all fault. It's not y'all's fault, dog. It's not y'all's fault.
Let me tell you. I won't blame anybody. Like, my thing is, like, I look at older anime, and the one thing that like ticks me off a lot more now that I notice it is, you know how like when anime characters are like moving and they're like they're holding this one pose, and it's like a dash, but in the background it's like those flashing lines in the back as like a scrolling background. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. Bro, it's like when they throw Pokeballs and everything like that.
Nah, listen, all you need to do, you could literally go to any anime in the 90s, pause it at any moment, and it's a bad animation in the background. I promise to fucking God. I promise to God, you could point out 3 flaws in the background or 3 flaws on the nigga. I promise to God, bro. Listen, other than like big moments, power-ups, big battle moments, any of that,
yeah,
you go to any moment, dog, in any 90s anime. There's one that you can't do that to, and that is Cowboy Bebop, because that's the greatest anime of all fucking time. And there's no flaws in Cowboy Bebop ever. But even if you show me a flaw, it doesn't exist. So
that's subjective.
It is. Hey, it is subjective.
Like, but I'll point out one thing. Like, you'll also see in like some older anime when you'll notice the art style change. Like in Yu Yu Hakusho, up to like before the Chapter Black stuff, it was all the same animation, and then you get to the Chapter Black and you'll see like the animation change, all of that stuff. It's like, where did this come from? And then it's like Pokemon. You can notice the changes in Pokemon. You can notice the changes in Naruto. The animation got a little bit more fluid. And there's like a scene where Yusuke is fighting the doctor, and it's just like, oh man, like this wasn't in the Dark Tournament. Imagine the fluidity if that was in this part of the story. It would have been amazing. And you'll see it like in Pokemon, the art style changes. Like this last recent the last few seasons of Pokemon have different art style changes. One Piece has one of the biggest art style changes, because it changes art style like 4 or 5 times. You'll even see it in the movies of how One Piece changes. So it's like you'll see that with long running shows that you can tell the budgets got better, and they just started doubling down on better quality animation, no matter what it is. And sometimes it also comes into a play where some animation studios also work on like other projects. So like, who is it? Studio Bones. They work on Mob Psycho and what is it? My Hero.
Listen, Mob Psycho is so damn beautiful, dog.
Yes, dog.
Mob Psycho is so damn beautiful. Like really, like come on, dog. Like come on. Like you can't watch something like Mob Psycho. You can't watch something like Demon Slayer, watch something like, man, shit, even Dragon Ball Super. Like, yeah, bro, we got Dragon Ball Super in 2010s. That's us. Y'all got Z, we got Super. All right. So listen, bro, you can't watch stuff like that. You can't watch Hunter x Hunter. You can't watch things like Fire Force, which his last episode was a banger. Last episode of Fire Force was a banger. So if y'all haven't watched that, y'all need to tap into it. It was a banger. Once again, a banger. So man, you can't but like I'm saying, bro, you can't have all these things. Carol and Tuesday, another one that's like great, bro. I love Carol and Tuesday. For real, I love Carol and Tuesday. Got Food Wars, another like episode where the animation is great. Violet Evergarden, shout out to Cyrus. Like, man, like, come on, you can't watch all these things. See what this animation looks like, bro. They're giving us like this on our TV screen. Like, really think about that. They're giving us this
Exactly.
level of animation on our TV screen. We're not even paying to the movies to go see this. They like, we about to just go dummy because we got the bag now.
Exactly. And don't
Like,
let them actually make the movies too. Like, don't let them like
oh my
start like
god,
when movies get released. Oh my god, I can't wait for the Demon Slayer movie.
bro,
Hands
that
down, I
Demon
can't.
Slayer movie is gonna go so crazy. I'm mad that we're agreeing on this. I was really dead set on like.
Let me tell you,
I'm
this man was
dead
talking the most trash for like the last week. I was like, dog, why you gotta do this, bro? Like, you saw, if y'all follow me on Twitter,
I
bro.
swear to God, I thought you was about to pick 2000. I was so set on you picking the 2000, bro. As much as we talk anime, bro, we talk anime and manga a lot. It's like 90% of our conversations. I'm like, all right, I have a feeling, like I have a good read on this nigga, bro. He's gonna pick the 2000s, and I can't wait to call him wrong. I'm like, he's about to be wrong, bro. And like, man, you weren't. But I mean, listen.
It's a product of watching so much anime for so long. It's like, damn, it really got better. Like, shit,
bro, it did. I listen, man, and no disrespect, to the other eras, because once again, man, like, if we're really gonna rank them in, what's best. I think it goes for me 2010s, 2000s, 1990s.
Oh, that's the same for me. That's the same for me as far as anime is concerned. Manga might be a different story.
2000s was a dummy era, bro. Black Lagoon, Full Metal Alchemist, Ghost in Shell,
you got the
Death
big
Note.
three. Soul Eater,
bro, you got Soul Eater, One Piece, and like, man, that is a Code Geass, all that, bro. That is heat. That is a lot of heat in 1 year. Like,
and that's a lot of stuff that we all grew up with. That's what made us anime fans. Like, in the first place, all the stuff that happened in 2000. Like,
I just don't think a lot of animes from the 90s, like, it's not that they don't hold up, but it's just like I don't think people revisit them as much as, like, people really revisit like the same like 4 or 5. People
unless they have like that nostalgia for those key ones.
Yeah,
like I ain't seen it in a minute. I feel like that was good though. I want to go back and revisit it. But like
people will revisit Dragon Ball Z. People will revisit Sailor Moon. Some people will revisit Pokemon. Shout out to Mount Silver.
Mm-hmm. They'll revisit.
Listen, if you were like a fan, like more than I'm just gonna watch this when it's on TV, but like an actual fan, you would watch Trigun.
Yep. Outlaw Star.
An Outlaw Star. If you were like a deep fan, you'll watch Berserk.
Let me tell you, one of my secret favorite shows as a kid was the Tenchi series. I ain't gonna hold you. Like Tenchi Muyo and Universe, like those are like some of my favorites from like when I was a kid. So I ain't like that in itself.
Like, man, like really think about who's really going back and rewatching Ronin Warriors or Monster Rancher. Like, who's really going back?
I know some people who will revisit Monster Rancher and be like, bro, I need a new Monster Rancher game. I'm like, I don't even know what that looks like, to be honest. I ain't grow up with that game. So shout out to y'all who played Monster Rancher like on the PS1. I think it was the PS1. Like stuff like that.
All right. Like even with like I mean, you do got your Slam Dunks, you got your Neon
Evangelion. I'll say this: people revisited that.
You got Yu Yu Hakusho and you got your Cowboy Bebop. Like these are all like really legendary animes, like for real. Was like, man, I'm pretty sure that if you were just like you go up to like a casual anime fan, they're not gonna really be just naming off all these.
Yeah,
I personally, I feel like it's gonna be like, oh yeah, I know Dragon Ball Z. Oh yeah, I know Pokemon. Oh yeah, I know. Like, they're gonna know like the big ones. I feel like these other ones are like, if you've actually been like watching anime, I feel like 2000s, like, bro, 2000s, you could name, like, you could just like people just know this shit. Like, I know Digimon. I know Naruto, One Piece. Yeah, I've heard of One Piece before. I think it's just, and then I mean now it's just, I feel like now everyone just, I think anime is so damn like mainstream now. Like, is people know like the new age anime, like they'll know that shit.
Exactly. And it is like even like the people like celebrities are putting out and like shouting out anime like Megan Thee Stallion, John Boyega, Michael B. Jordan, all of these celebrities who we see now on days on TV, like they're just putting on anime a lot more. And it's just like, dang, people who weren't even considering watching anime, seeing some of their favorite people talk a lot about what they love, and it's like, dang, this is really important to them. Maybe I should give it a try. And it's getting a lot more people engaged into this industry and environment, and it's really something great to see. It's like, I don't know. It's so powerful to see everybody come in to all of these 2010 anime, and like we could, as people like us who rewatch older stuff sometimes, and like tell people like, yeah, man, we've been watching this since the longest, and like we really recommend you go watch this, that, and the third. Like, I feel like the industry and like the community as a whole is growing a lot more. And to me personally, it's great to see. I see a lot of people like troll and say like, oh yeah, nah, this is trash. I don't know how people could like this. And you have like these toxic fan bases or whatever like that. But for me personally, from like from a general perspective, it's great to see so many people converse about anime, because to be honest, when I got to like high school, I didn't talk as much about anime with a lot of people as I did in like middle school and elementary school. I didn't do that as much. I stopped collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards after a certain time. I like stopped playing Pokemon as like hard as I used to. So it's just like, when you see as many people like nowadays just like get into this environment, for me, it's like something great to see. I'm really happy to see so many people enjoying the stuff that I used to enjoy. Because like, dang, man, like we have really come a long way.
Bro, why not? That's what I'm saying. Like, why not, bro? That's not for real. Nah, this is like, all right. Listen, I be really be thinking about this, because I'd be like, damn, man, I need to like, start talking like a lot more anime, with people, with people on Twitter, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I be thinking about that, like, but it's really hard sometimes, because I feel like niggas gatekeep this shit so much.
Yeah, that's the why gatekeep.
It's the weirdest. Like, it's so weird to me. Like, the gatekeeping is so weird to me, because it's like, why wouldn't you, bro? Once again, we are in like the best era of anime ever, bro. Like, why wouldn't you want people to hop in and like view this, like hop in and see this, like this stuff? Like, why? Like, I don't care if you just started reading manga yesterday, bro. Like, I'm happy you're reading it. Like, that's exactly tight that you're getting it, and people will just get like mad and like will argue over like the littlest of things. Well, actually, it was on this episode of this and that, and then I didn't know it was that.
What gets people wrong?
Man, listen, bro, I swear, like they just act like, bro, no one can. Man, I hate especially when it comes to like women in like anime. And it's like, God, and no, and like for real, no, and like for real, like this is like on some real shit. It's very weird, like the quizzing shit. The quizzing shit is so goddamn weird. First of all, like, nigga, this ain't school. There's no anime school or anything like that. Like, why are you quizzing niggas? Like, that's very weird activity to me. Secondly, bro, if you're like me, I can't recall anything. I really can't. Like, yeah. I like before we record this show, I make sure like I reread everything before, like for real, because like I'm like, bro, like. People,
I got like a whole like
they be so quick to like they be so quick to just like correct or like, and it happens to like just a lot of women that happen like Twitter and stuff, like when they just be, oh yeah, I like this, and like whatever. It just turns into the quiz, and like man, listen, it's a very weird community to be in online, but there are the cool people, that you run across, and it's nice to see like just how big anime and manga is, like, and just like not even just that, like the respect I feel that like manga and comics get, as bro, that's some like real piece of literature. Like, yes. Really, if you like read like and like there's a lot of like mangas and like comics that I read, I'm like, damn, bro, like there's like a lot in here, like there's some depth to this shit, and yes. Then it's really crazy when you be reading it and like seeing some of the shit that they be saying and like this and that, like I'm like, man, this is some real reading shit. I'm like, god dang, like and I think that's just the best thing about manga and comics, and like why I respect it so much, because not only there's so many components that go into just making a good manga and an anime. Like, you can't just have you have to have this animation, and you have to have this great story, and you have to like just like weave those two things together. And a lot of these people,
Paradox Ghostwriter.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to weave these two things together, and people be forgetting that a lot of times there's one person that's doing both. There's one person that's literally writing this story and like drawing this at the same time. I'm not saying they're doing it all by themselves, but it's like one person that's really leading this and like really started this on their own. And it's crazy to just to see this just form, just blow up the way it has. Like, man, it's everywhere. I'm talking about like, we got Goku balloons in the Macy Day parade. Yeah. Like, bro, like it's everywhere. We got Pikachu everywhere, man. Like, Pokemon Go is like one of the biggest things ever. And like that was what was that, like 6 years ago? They just had their like 6-year anniversary, like not too long ago or something. But it's just like, people just gotta, like, the times that we're in, like that whole culture now is just so a part of just everything that it's just so ingrained with pop culture now, like on a level that's just never seen. Like before, it's like, okay, cool, like people knew Dragon Ball Z, then it turned into, oh, cool, people know like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, and they know, like, now people are kind of having more conversations about it of like, let's argue who's better, Naruto this or Goku that.
Goku can't beat Superman.
Yeah, what I'm saying? Like people are having a little bit more, and like, but like now, no, it's like, it is, so it's very different. And like it's cool to see, like, like where it's at. Like, bro, if anime and manga is not at the level it's at now, like we're not even able to do this show because like people wouldn't care.
Exactly. This would be a niche audience right now, like
for real. But it's just like, bro, it's so like it's such a just a wide genre of stuff. There's something for everybody. Like that's the best part about it all. And like I think that really for me is just what makes this era the best era. Like, I mean, once again, respect to the others. Shout out to helping set up the bag. But once the bag was got, bruh,
everybody started eating.
They did what they had to do, bro. They did what they had to do. Like, man, like they could have tricked this off on some other, bro. But like, they really could have, bro. Like, man, listen, man, just shout out to them because it's for real, bro. It's a different time, and it's just cool to really be a fan during all of this, like just being a fan and being like, and a young fan too, like, bro, exactly. Like, how many more years of like anime and manga that we're gonna be able to like read and watch,
exactly.
Like, it's so crazy, and be able to like have these discussions and just be like, man, remember in the 2010s of that, like now the 2020s is something like, what is the future of, like, what do you think the future of anime really is gonna look like?
I was just about to bring it up because, like, to me right now, like, it's getting so far ahead and like so advanced because now we're even getting like not just Japan making stuff, but now we're getting Korean manhwas, and all of that stuff in the 2020s. Like, we got Tower of God, God of High School coming out. Like, it's actually growing to be a lot bigger and better. Like, I feel like we're getting to a point where if you are an artist and you have a dream and you have a passion and you want a story to tell, you can write that story and it will be somehow produced into an anime and your dream will come true because it's starting to become a more of a worldwide phenomenon. Like, I think the possibilities are endless. Like, the world is being included in just not just the things that were secluded to Japan and like partially China only. It's getting to a grander scale, and like, I think it's something to behold, man. Like, it's beautiful.
It really is. I really hope that we start getting some. I mean, like, I hope we start getting some more like Black creators in this, for real.
Shout out to Cannon Busters.
Yeah, shout out Cannon Busters. And just people just start like you said. I think now it is very. I won't say very easy. I'm not gonna say very easy, but I think like releasing your own stuff and getting people to view your stuff is more accessible now. You have you have so much more access. Like, even isn't like webtoons that you publish for free. Like, there's
web novel, webtoons.
Yeah, like there are options now, and it's just really cool just to see all these new creators like come up and like you said, like it. I think each era has had a very big jump. Like, you look like even from the 90s to the 2000s, like that was a pretty big, that was a pretty big jump in terms of just like even popularity, art styles, like you said, like all that. And then you go from like 2000s to 2010s, like that's even like a larger increase. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's even especially at the end of the 2010s. I mean, like, just Demon Slayer was just last year, all that. So it's man, I'm just really thinking about like the end of this decade, what we are going to see. Like, man, they gonna mess around and have something pop out my screen. Like like bro, like how much further are we gonna get in? Like, man, just think about just as this popularity grows, think of just how like bigger budget things that they could just do, like even with the movies, and even with the small release that happened over here, like they sell out all the time.
Yes. And they're actually starting to get bigger. Like, we used to get just like Dragon Ball movies or maybe like a Yu-Gi-Oh movie here and there. Like, I remember a Yu-Gi-Oh movie came out on my birthday, like in the 2000s, and that shit was so empty. But then you go to like a Dragon Ball movie or like the My Hero movies. I went to all of those like in theaters. And when I tell you those are all sold out, packed out, and everybody's just cheering for like the best, the hype moments and everything. It's just like, the community is great. Like, it's gotten so much better. You see more involvement and people are like enjoying their passions, and you see everybody else around you enjoying the same thing that you are. It's like, it's something beautiful, bro. Like, I don't know, bro. It's getting to a point where I'm just like, bro, like, the world is, while we have our ups and downs with other forms in society, like as far as like anime and manga is concerned, I think we're getting like to a point where it's reaching a peak, and it's going to go even higher. Especially, I'll say this: if it weren't for the fact that the pandemic and everything happening, because of the Olympics were supposed to happen this year in Japan, I felt like that would have been like the greatest, push. Shout out to Haikyuu, like they had a long run. I feel like the Olympics could have pushed that to like beyond.
Oh yeah, could you imagine like Haikyuu going on while like the Olympics is going on?
Yes.
Like that stuff would have been, bro. Like, man, oh man, yeah. The Olympics is a morally corrupt thing, but Olympics is a much morally corrupt event, and we shouldn't be supporting it. But at the same time, let's be really real here. That shit would have been heat. Like,
yeah,
they already had like Goku and like other anime characters be like ambassadors for like the Olympics. Like, they were already like going crazy. They're already leaning full into like the anime Japanese culture, like that all that like culture there. And so I am sad that didn't happen, because I'm pretty sure like the stuff that came out of that would have been insane. Would have been insane. But yeah, and like you said, bro, it's just a great time to be a fan. It's just a great time to be a fan of of anime. You're just getting so much heat. We're just getting so much heat, dog, at once, and it's dope to see all these things get a chance to just shine and do their thing. Pretty much just like right now, just taking turns to just like what's the hottest thing out right now, because like once something new drops, it's heat. Like, I have never seen like a kind of an anime streak like this. Like, really think about this. Like, we had. All right, I'm just gonna start with My Hero. So we had My Hero. My Hero ran pretty much until. I'm trying to think. My Hero really ran, because I feel like My Hero was the one that really like kind of got all this shit kind of started and kicking. Like,
I'll to be honest, I'll say, as much as a lot of people don't like it, I'll say Sword Art. Like, Sword Art came before My Hero, and then My Hero picked up the ball and like just ran with it. And then Attack on Titan.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So say this, yeah. I'll give Sword Art his love. Sword Art kind of was just like, hey yo, like they got this shit popping over here. And then My Hero came through, and like Attack on Titan came through, and then they were just like, oh shit, like, dog, this is like really heat. Like, what's really going on here? Black Clover came through, and that's just been heat. And then it's just like, I even though I give Black Clover is shit, like I'm gonna respect it for what it is. Like, people fuck with Black Clover, like people do.
Yes.
Black Clover came through, then it's like boom, really like Demon Slayer, like that run of like Demon Slayer, and
oh my god. We have
Demon
so
Slayer,
many.
The Promised Neverland, like that. Those two just popping up, and just like
Fire Force,
like, bro, like all this shit just coming up, like in this like short amount of time. Really, like this is like 5 years, like 5-6 years of shit. Dragon Ball Super,
JoJo's got a remake, and
JoJo's
like
got a remake.
like
Hunter x Hunter.
Oh
I
my
can't
god,
like, bro, like really, like, dog, we got just so much heat in like a bit, like, man, it, dog, that, yeah, man, 2010s all the way. That's how we're gonna end this show, man. Shout out to TYN. You know what I'm saying? Young ones out here. 2010s is where it's at. That's the era in anime. I'm mad that me and AD agreed on this, but you know what? Whatever it is, we stuck together.
Throw it in my face.
I thought, bro, I was so dead set. I was like, I can't wait. I'm about to smoke this man on this episode 31. I'm about to smoke AD. I was so set that you're gonna pick like 2000s. Bro, I'm dead ass serious. Like, I really thought you was about to pick the 2000s. That's why I was like, that's why I didn't even ask you. That's why I didn't ask you. I was like, bro, I know this dude. I know him. Like, he's gonna pick the 2000s. I can't wait to tell him that he's lying.
Hey man, I'm gonna have to hit you with the 6ix9ine.
Stupid
won't let you get the chance.
Man. Oh man. All right, man. On that note, man, listen, y'all know what it is. Follow the Lookout RNC, follow RNC Radio Live, all the anime content, all the podcast content you want and need. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the motto, watch more anime, read more manga, drink more water. Y'all stay good. Peace.